we continue in the new yard with our plans for expanding, and fighting battles on so many fronts is extremely demanding. The weighbridge needs calibrating, and Simon is sanding, because despite everything that's going on, we still value branding. And with entrepreneurship, I've been misunderstanding. It's not about who's best, it's about the last one standing. I'm Daniel, and it's Ashville Weekly, episode 199. It's Monday morning, and I'm in the yard. And you know when you don't want to deal with something, but you have to deal with it? And the problem is a drainage problem, dealing with waste. I don't want to use the word, but it's just a problem to have first thing in the morning. As part of our temporary setup, we have men's and women's toilets with a tank underneath. Slipped my attention. I didn't realize the tank was only 2,000 litres. With the volume of people here, this tank filled up within a week. Now, we need to get it emptied, and it costs us £170 to empty it. We can't pay £170 a week to be emptying the toilets. In the old yard, we have an old water tank. The plan is to take this water tank and put it over here. However, the distance from here all the way to down there for the toilet is very far. So the waste is going to need to be pumped into this tank. Then we have my office, we have the video office to also be pumped here. My thinking behind it is, if I have to pay the haulage for a truck to come here, I have to pay whether the truck comes here once, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We can just get a bigger truck to come and suck this out less often. We were going to use a Saniflow, which is a macerator, which breaks down all the and pumps it in. However, we're thinking of using a different pump which we would use in basements because it's meant to be in the ground and this is an outdoor area. If I use a Saniflow like you saw us putting in at the refurbishment project, it's not meant to be outside, so we're going to have to build something around it to protect it. People need welfare facilities and you have to manage it correctly, because I can't have sewage going out everywhere because it will smell and then there'll be vermin, and people are entitled to a clean working area. So what we're going to do firstly is bring more stone over, and we're going to level this entire area to make it easier to work. Then Chris is going to run a pipe along this tray. This tray is for the electrics, but it will run from the toilet all the way down there to here. Then we'll take a pipe underneath the offices here, run it to here, and take a pipe from my office. We'll run all of them here. These pipes will all meet, and then they'll go into this pump slash macerator, which will pump the waste up into this tank. Now this tank will hopefully take about a month, if we're lucky, maybe 6 weeks to fill. However, you see, we think that that's going to be simple. It's not that simple, because in order to suck everything out, they need to get into the top of it and drop their hose in, which then means we're going to have to build a staircase, because you can't expect someone to climb up a ladder with this heavy hose, drop it in, suck everything out, because the power of it may be kicking. So then we got to build a platform for it. And the platform that I showed you in last week's episode, click here to watch that video, that we were going to return when Ben went down to Southampton to B&W plant hire, we may keep that now. We're paying 3 squids a week for it. If that's high enough, when we level everything in this area, we'll keep it. If not, then we'll have to build another scaffold platform like we did for the weighbridge. And that is one of my Monday morning problems that I don't want to deal with, but I have to deal with it, because you can't only choose the challenges you like. You have to just take on all of them and find a way through. But it's long. Problem number 2, I took a walk at the perimeter like all security guards do, and I saw that there was a weak point in the fence. This weak point meant that somebody could be on the main road and they could quickly nip into our yard running down this bank. Now, I can't have that for 2 reasons. 1, because somebody could come into the yard and get themselves hurt. 2, we don't want to be robbed. So rather than work on preparing the concrete slabs, which we need to set up the yard, I've got lads up on the main road using timber to fix a weak spot in the fence. are you doing?
I'm looking at your yard. I don't know if you'd call it a yard. More like a building site, isn't it? I hope you haven't got no buckles on your trousers. Lean up against that car. How are we? I'm good, mate, I'm good. Let's do a guided tour. Or is it not? Is it too unsafe to have a guided tour? There's something liable to fall down on top of us. What are them there?
It's called scaffold, Michael.
No, but what are them things up? What's that, offices, are they?
They're offices, yes. What do you mean, what are them things? They're offices. What else would they be?
Very rough, aren't they?
What do you mean they're rough?
Not like our new modular buildings we've just put up.
What modular buildings?
Modular buildings we've just put up.
Do you know what, Michael? Offices are for work.
We
What
work
you're-
in these ones.
What you're doing, you're just doing things to just do because you're, is it
Bored.
semi-retired or
No,
fully
bored.
You're bored.
Bored.
You're just doing things because you're, wait, listen mate, if you want to jump in a machine here and help out, you're more than welcome.
Oh, where would you start, though? There's no, where would you start? Oh, it's just like someone's got a hand grenade and go, hey, boom!
This is our temporary setup for the yard.
It's very temporary.
Excuse me, I ain't had 45 years at it like you.
No, 40.
40, I never had 40 years to do my yard. I'm a couple of months in, thank you.
And why have you bought a hairdresser's car with only 2 seats in it? How's my mate Foxy going to get in it now?
Well, your mate Foxy don't want to get in the car with me no more. You and him have run off doing your own thing.
You know that's in the wrong place.
How is it in the wrong place?
Should be down that end.
Ashville Weekly Faithful Following came up with a great idea to have a traffic light system, what I'm implementing.
Yeah, which we have already got on ours anyway.
You haven't got a traffic light system on yours.
Yeah, we have.
You're just making it up. You just make it, like every sentence is just, you're just making it up
No,
as you're going along.
we have a traffic light system to tell them
To tell them what?
red to stop,
Really?
and then when we know they've got their weights, and we go green.
Really? You've been reading the comments. Here's our generator, 800 kVA. You've never seen a finer generator in your life. Here's our silo, here's our bagging plant, here's our water tower. And over here is our lovely train track. But you've got a train track because you do trains, don't you?
Yeah, all the time. Not as long as mine, but if you'd done another 4 bays, you'd have been with me.
Where's your trains come from?
Up the road there. Oh, it runs in the inside of it, doesn't it? Yeah,
It does, yes.
Yeah, I was just trying
Yeah,
to
but you
work
would know that from where you run trains, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but our ones run either side.
Your train, the wheels run either side?
Yeah, we've got the old-fashioned trains, haven't we?
What old-fashioned trains?
Steam engine ones.
Tell the truth, jokes aside, how good is this?
That is good. That is good. I've got to give 10 out of 10. Wouldn't have been the way I'd done it.
Well, really, how would you have done it, Michael? Just
I'd have done it a little bit more fancier.
Fancier how?
I would have put a little bit of something in the concrete to give it a little bit of bling.
But what would you have put in the concrete?
Pound coins or something like that.
How many pound coins?
Whatever it would have took. Why have we not concrete this bit?
Because this is where the switch is, Michael. All right, we could do a test.
Hang on.
Right, go on.
Gordon Bennett.
Hey!
Did it work?
Yeah, of course. Did it work? Do it again. Go on. Put your back into it. There you go, look at that.
Hey, I've got to watch it at the same time. Hang on. We've derailed a train, have we?
I'm still waiting for this advice.
It's coming. I might have to send you an email.
You've never sent me an email in your life.
Send emails every day. I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Do we have the seal of approval?
Yeah, it's a good yard. Lovely yard. You can do something in here.
On the 566, we're having a problem. So we're taking off the DPF filter. We're taking it to a gentleman who's going to clean it now, and hopefully we'll put it back on tomorrow morning, and she'll be moving again, and it may need to have some sort of forced regeneration on the computer, but we don't know. But the only thing we can do is take it off and clean it and put it back on and hope it works. If it doesn't, then we're going to need to make a call.
My DPF is blocked, lad.
Wait, hold on. I ain't... Well... Okay, well, you took it out yourself then.
Well, you wouldn't do that.
I asked you how you want me to hold it.
Hey,
Hanging around.
that lad is about as much good as a glass eye, that fella, I tell you, by looking at him. You know the gimp of him, the shorts and all the gear on him. Would you like to thank Michael for getting this sorted out for you today?
How did you get it sorted out?
You wouldn't have known where to take it to.
What are you talking
You'd have
about?
probably took it to the local barbers or something.
It's the bakery down the road.
You'd have probably took it to the cafe and asked them to put it in the oven.
Put them in the oven.
I give you the place to go, the man to see.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You said to go to someone. When we called them, they said no. And my townie spoke to them and got the number we needed. You never done it.
Yeah, but he knew he got it through me.
No,
in
he
a
didn't.
roundabout way, I've sorted this problem
No,
out.
you
for
haven't.
You're always very helpful, Michael. We appreciate it. I can feel a claim.
Yeah, I got it.
Whee! It does pay going to the gym, doesn't it?
You now?
Put it on the floor, please.
No, grab it like I did.
I can't grab it because you got, look, my hands are bigger than yours. You've got little baby hands on you. What's that? Oh. Your mum's got bigger hands than you.
Your mum's got bigger hands than me.
Yeah.
That's because you didn't help her carry the shopping.
These hands that wash dishes. Mild green, fairy liquid.
Does it go like that?
They're
Now
not soft.
hands that do dishes can feel soft as your face with mild green, very liquid. My hands are soft. Are you having a laugh? My hands are soft,
They're
are they?
baby's hands.
What are you talking about? Put your hand out.
The last time they see manual labour was
You're Terry. Be honest. Whose hands are softer? Come on, Terry. Whose hands are soft? Put your hand out. Terry. Whose hands are? Terry, come here. Come on. Come here. Whose hands are softer?
Like a pair of old women arguing.
Come on. Whose hands are softer?
I do more work than you.
All right, Terry. Be honest.
I'm not rubbing the two of you's hands.
We are actually still continuing the work to prepare for the slab for the wheel wash, reservoir, small workshop area, and Michael's pulling faces. Look, turn around, just film this idiot. Go on, film it. Show what you did behind the camera. Go on, do it. Show. Now you can see the montage. We have a few sections poured in this area already. We are now creating sections in between the ones already poured and in new areas. Material is used to build up the area, is compacted, and then 4x2 and shutter and ply are used to divide the space and provide a mold for the concrete. Membrane is placed in each section and then one layer of mesh. Goodbye, Michael. Goodbye, Daniel. It's been emotional. We are about to begin sorting out the area in the railway yard where we have all the buckets and scrap and items what we've brought back off sites and we've stored for many years. Some we haven't used, some we have, some we may use in the future. There's even buckets here from the 311C cat that we used to have. We had a 13-tonner and we had an 8-tonner. They're both gone, but their buckets are here. But we are sorting through trying to work out what's going for scrap. A long time back, you saw me go somewhere on a Saturday morning and I made an agreement with a couple of 40-yard bins. Well, one of those bins, we've never used it because it was in such a bad state that by the time my townie and I looked at it, he was like,
"No chance, lad. What did I do in my past life that you feel you need to punish me to try to fix this bin?"
we're going to use that bin to drop in the scrap, and then we're going to take that round to the scrap merchants and just leave them with the bin and everything in it, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of pocket change for it. My forklift. Oil leak, flat tire, engine still works. We need to get round to fixing this, but there's no time at the moment. We're still ripping and stripping and trying to get out of the old yard. Now, Ben has run a couple of bits round to the storage yard today, including my skip boat. Click here to watch a video where I take my skip boat almost to France. And Ben is now preparing for tomorrow morning. He's going to get a dumper on and a 3-ton machine. Time now is 6:21. Tessa and salesman Sam are still here, but everybody else has gone home. I am going into the video office to check on a drive, as we don't have our fiber internet up and running as of yet. So it takes us about 3 hours to upload a video, which means by the time I get home and I need to download it and watch it, I've lost half the evening. I'll be going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's bad enough going to bed at 12:01, but 2 o'clock, meh. And that's it for Monday. It's Tuesday. We're in the yard. On the back of the 566 loading shovel. The DPF filter is back, looking nice and clean. We're trying to get it in place and send the machine to do a bit of work to see if it recognizes the DPF is clean and regenerates itself. We're nearly there, putting the shovel back together. There's not a lot of space to work. You need 2 hands, but one person giving instructions. One person says hold, or what to do, or what to jiggle, while the other one attaches everything back together. We have a problem with a supplier, and I don't want to be that guy. I really don't. We've paid them to do something for us, and they've been quite open and honest and said that they spent the money we gave them to do it. Now, they've had 50% of the money, and they're not a large company, but they have been established for a long time. They do lots of good work, and they're saying that they need us to send them more money so they can continue making what we asked them to make. Now I need to make a decision. Do I have faith and give the benefit of the doubt and send the money, or do I cut my losses and go after them for the money that we already sent, which I don't want to have to do. You know, you want to have faith in people, because I understand what it's like. Everybody goes through tough times. We're having cash flow issues at the moment. The market is not busy. Despite what people say, and everything is on the up and the up, I feel that we are, and I've spoken to owners of other companies, we're all working harder for exactly the same. So in this type of market, if you can break even or survive, that is success. But I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I like to sleep on it. When I first heard the news, I was like, nah, I'm not having it. But we've gone through challenges, we've overcome them, and people have had faith in us. So I need to work out what I'm going to do with this supplier. I've given people the benefit of the doubt before and got burnt. And then I've given people the benefit of the doubt other times, and they've come through. Decisions. Okay. We're preparing the temporary area. We should be pouring concrete this afternoon. These are the pads and columns that previously used to be around the bagging area. We're moving them over into this yard and the control units, and we're just placing them here. We're not setting it up yet because we're far too busy doing other bits. Keep telling you about the electric. Tomorrow's a deadline where we need to pay the 47K to secure the new 800 kVA incoming. Now, I sat with accounts and I had to weigh everything up. We have everyday commitments like fuel, wages, insurance, things that have to be paid no matter what, so we can continue to operate. Then we got suppliers we need to pay. And if we don't pay these suppliers, we haven't got the material we need to provide service. And then we have some payment plans, which we're paying to suppliers for historic debt that we're just paying off. I did not take money that was allocated elsewhere and pay the electric. I took 10 grand, which I believe that we could spare. I paid it towards the electric, and then I banged the rest on a personal credit card, just so it could be done and dusted, and I didn't want to leave it to the final hour tomorrow. I am going to be paid over 4 months. The monthly amount, including the interest, will be paid back to me personally onto the credit card. We're going to be paying interest, but it means that it's done, and the electric is a plan for the next 50 years. It's not ideal, but sometimes you just need to get it done and get some breathing space. And then when you get breathing space, you never know what could happen. There may be a project where you make more than you thought you would, and then you can pay it back a bit earlier. Now, it's not the first time I've done that. I've done this in the past, many a time, and it's always been paid back, and we've always managed to find a way. It's like all this entrepreneurship and running a small business. It is not the best person wins. It's the last person standing. I repeat, the best, the smartest. That doesn't mean you're going to win. Work hard, don't give up. Last person standing.
Not in the yard. Simple. Spot dinner. Celebrate Tezza's being in Ashville for 5 years. And also his birthday. 5 years. The man has been torturing me and punishing me. 5 years trying to wind me up. 5 years smart remarks and comments. Officially, thank you, Tezza. Daniel, he's a good man. Despite all the things I said, these things, hard work now even though for the first 2 years, I tried to tell everyone he didn't do anything.
Not serious.
Wait, where are you going? You got 15 minutes left of work. Terry!
Bro, don't you have nothing to do?
Yeah, I do. I've got to make sure the drivers are out working.
What, me, yeah?
Terry ain't in for 5 days. He's ducking mans. Terry's nana. Do you know what she said to Terry? Every time I watch these videos, you're sitting there doing nothing. He is skiving, and I have no evidence to support that claim, but that is the story that I'm going with.
But I quickly knocked that on the head when people started to jump on that bandwagon, because it is not true. Terry works extremely hard and believes that.
Happy anniversary to Tezza. He's gone for the ribeye. I'm having the filet. We are definitely going to enjoy.
It's Wednesday morning, and I'm in the yard, and construction team aren't happy, understandably, because the concrete we meant to pour yesterday, we didn't pour it because the lorries were too busy on the road. Same again this morning. I got to send the lorries out to earn money, but obviously this is also an important job. But if we let clients down, by the time we finish doing the work in the yard, then we'll have no clients left. So I've got to manage that. Sorry, David, go on.
So you see all the supports over there, if they can continue?
Oh, no, I don't expect them to continue past there, no way. We've got this one we can do, remove that shutter in there and prepare these two, then I'll get them to pour it. We have 5 lorries out. I've tried to send them out early to get the pour done and then come back here, apologies. You saw our saga with the 566 loading shovel. We got the new DPF on. The warning stayed on the dashboard, but Flo said that the machine started to work a lot better, probably because it could exhaust the fumes. And then the alternator belt snapped. The machine is down now completely. We can't even start it. The earliest the fitter can get into us is Friday morning. Now, Louis Gong have not collected their shovel from us as of yet. So I had a meeting with the lads just now and said, lads, use that shovel as much as you can, put it through its paces, because any minute Louis Gong could arrive to take their shovel back and we are going to have no shovel whatsoever. You know, when you're up against it, that's when they test you the most. The bin is now full of scrap and ready for Ben to go and tip it. But Ben has gone out working, collecting machines and delivering machines. Once again, the paid work comes first. weighbridge is going to be calibrated tomorrow morning. Now, this area of the weighbridge hasn't been built up as of yet. So I've asked the lads to bring over this stone and build up this area. But I've asked them not to do it on a steep incline so everybody feels like they're going up like this. Build it up to around this area and build it out going that way. Now, we don't have a roller in the yard that can compact this, truth be told. So we're actually driving over with the shovel and the excavators trying to flatten it. When it flattens, then we build it up again. We're using the whacker plate in areas here where there's pedestrian traffic, because that's fine for those sort of areas. But here, using that little whacker to compact this is going to do absolutely nothing. The second a lorry drives on it, the wheels are going to churn up all of this gear. So more work to do to prepare for tomorrow. Popped in to see our friends at Celtic, who are experts in traffic management, and they have a load of traffic lights in their depot. I was discussing our weighbridge solution with them. Now, initially, I was thinking about one traffic light that Simon could turn on and off to tell people when to come off the weighbridge because he's taken their weight. But the systems which Celtic put out on the roads, they are powered by battery. Imagine this, the batteries last 2 weeks within them before they need a charge, and you can add a third battery and it lasts for even longer. But they're all operated by radio. We don't need to be communicating by radio. I don't want to be having to charge by 12 volts with batteries. I just want 240. I want to run cables into the weighbridge and Simon can press green or red. But now I think about it, if we only have one, the driver may not see it. And then how do we tell people to come on and off the weighbridge? So I'm thinking now we're going to need 4. If you are waiting here to go onto the bridge, you're going to need a traffic light facing you. So that turns green, and then you drive onto the bridge. And then it's red when you get on the bridge because Simon's taking your weight. That light turns green and you drive off the bridge going that way. Now, if there's a truck waiting here and a truck waiting on the other side, we don't want to put up a sign saying that one particular side has the right of way the entire time. So at that point, we need a traffic light facing that way, telling that side whether they're red or green. And then imagine that turned green facing outwards and they drove on. When they're on the bridge, Simon can always tell them, right, you're free to go. But if there's 3 other lights set up here already giving people information, we should just have a 4th one letting people know here that they can come off. Sounds complicated, doesn't it? I'm trying to overcomplicate it to simplify. So I now need to have a chat with Simon the accountant and Teza and see what they think about it. Unfortunately, the lorry has turned up to collect the Louis gun shovel. We have no way of loading lorries, so we're going to have to get the L860 in position. Going to go and quickly move some material around and refuel, then we'll get loaded.
I've lost everything.
In the old yard, a couple of years back when we set up our sprinkler system, this is the manifold which Chris designed and made. So the incoming water came in through here And each one of these was a different material bay. This is how we managed to suppress all of the dust. But when we put it on too much, people would complain that the material was too wet. So it was a balancing act the entire time. We're going to use this over by the new water tank. So the incoming feed will come to here. We'll have one of the water tanks on here, we'll have another one of the water tanks on here, and we'll probably create a tap in the new workshop area, which will come off of this. See, we can reuse the stuff that we make and have around the yard. And it gives us another 2 options down the bottom if there's anything else that needs to be connected for water in that general area. Tell me, Liam.
Got one going out Monday to Croydon.
So you made the call
Yeah.
of your own accord and you got a machine out.
Yeah.
You see?
And then I'm trying to get a few other companies that we haven't done any work with.
If they're not using us for plant, take it personal.
Yeah. So,
Good lad. Stay on, get on the phones.
Yeah.
Cold calling. Thank you. There's a couple of Ashville plant hire machines in the yard. Now, we were very busy on plant hire for a while. All the kit went out, but it's like all the projects ended at once. And I spoke to Liam earlier, and there were loads of jobs saying we're starting in September, we're starting in September. And I was like, Liam, jump on the phone. There's no guarantee that those jobs are going to start in September, and we don't want the machines in the yard looking back at us. So that conversation was like 15 minutes ago, and already he's managed to put one of the machines out. So if he jumps on the phone for the next couple of days, hopefully we can get the rest of them out. We are moving whatever we can, whenever we can, out of the old yard. Ben has a small window, so he's dropping kit round to the storage yard. This is one of our turnstiles, which will play an important part in the safety and security in the setup of the new yard. The time is 3:54. We have a cement delivery. All the lorries are still out on jobs because all of the jobs extended and they need a couple of more meters, and we're just making sure that we finish off everything on site. Unfortunately, the concrete in the yard hasn't been poured, and by not pouring this, we haven't poured it in 2 days, and we've probably lost 4 days, and we're probably going to lose some time next week. If we do not pour these gaps, we can't pour the next ones, and then we can't remove the shuttering across the front here in order to build the other sections along the front here. This massively sets back what we're doing next week, but I can't not pour concrete on site and generate revenue, because how are we going to pay for this? The lads in the construction firm are obviously not happy because they're getting held up. Fortunately, there is other work to do, but that is not the schedule of work we have. What can I do? Because no site is going to wait. I can't ask the sales team to go out and generate work, and then when they get the work, we lose it because we don't keep up with the service. We've got one concrete lorry down, and the boys in the construction firm are doing what they're meant to, but I'm not giving them the resources they need to finish their job. So it's a difficult situation. But I have told them we will try and pour tomorrow morning at 7:30. I hope that we can do that. And that's it for Wednesday. Thankfully, at last, that concrete is poured. Tomorrow it will be dry and the lads can begin to break it out and prepare other sections. We won't be ready for Monday, so I've organised coils for next Friday to begin to drop the bits in place so we can make that workshop and storage area, which will make more space
other places in the yard. Ben continues on the flatbed, running bits round to the storage yard when he is not out doing work on bins and delivery and collection of machines. And now, the team have turned up to calibrate the weighbridge.
The team turn up with their own test unit, which includes the truck, forklift, and 20 one-ton weights. The weights are offloaded onto the weighbridge and should weigh exactly 20 tons. At this point, if required, adjustments would take place, but we do not need any this time round. We remove all the weights from the weighbridge and then drive on with the truck. We then load the truck with the 1-ton weights to double check the bridge is working well and the readings are accurate. Once complete, we get our calibration certificate and the weighbridge is open for business.
It's Friday morning, I'm in the yard. The new alternator belt is on the 566. We're just going to plug in now and try to force a regen, because if you remember earlier in the week, we cleaned out the particulate filter. But you need to try to force the machine to know it's been done. We really need this working because we're using the L860 and all sorts of other machines in the yard to do what this machine could do in about 20 seconds. They don't make these easy to put the belt on. There's the belt, there, in front of the aircon pump, all the way here. Can you imagine trying to work in that little space? Let's have it even more awkward. Plugging in there. Now we're going to turn the ignition on and see what it comes back with. Well, we do have some feedback. We need to change the cable. It needs to be a cable with a power feed. Managed to get the 566 going. Flo is now testing it. He's gonna move material around the yard and load lorries. But guess what? The L860 now has a warning on the dash about the AdBlue. Now this is probably because the L860 isn't getting used how it should be. It should be flat out on the train, revs, full blast, and it gives it a chance to regenerate itself. We've been using it in the yard, stop, start. It hasn't been working in the way it should. Hopefully, we can take off one of the parts, which we think has been crystallized, put it in some hot water, fit it back on, and give it a reset. Hopefully. And then at that point, then we need to have a look at the 926 and get that going. Hopefully.
This hasn't been going right all week, but we are pouring more concrete and trying to catch up in the workshop area. These are the sections in between the sections we poured yesterday.
We're nearly done with the pour. We've just got this little section here, and Peter is pulling up right now after reloading. At the same time, Cimex have turned up with some more cement. The L860 could not be fixed. There's a sensor I need to order. What I'll do as soon as I'm back at my desk. We are now going at the 926. Hopefully we can get that going. How are we doing? Oh, mate.
It's those two there, look. Yep.
You want to take them out?
Yeah, take them out. That's it, that's that one. Thank you very much. Made it easier.
It's always a problem with sensors. We got one we need to change, which is the NH3. This measures the emissions that the machine is putting out. And then there's one here, what sits in the AdBlue tank, that even when you pulled it out was still reading that it was 70%. So both sensors were faulty. So the machine could be perfectly good, but because of the readings of those sensors, the computer has put the entire machine into limp mode. And those parts took a while for us to get. Oh, these sensors. My townie keeps telling me about the days before there were all these sensors and emissions all over the machines and the machines being indestructible. Those days are long gone. Granted, these machines have served us well, and we do love the Liebherr kit. It is good kit. We just have had problems with a lot of sensors and emissions. Simon the accountant is giving the weighbridge a bit of TLC. In case you didn't know this, in a past life, the accountant was a carpenter. So he's using the skills he used to use when rubbing down some of the wood, sanding down the wheel wash, and he's gonna give it 2 coats of Ashville yellow paint in your sight. Ordered a knock sensor for the L860. This is the culprit right here. Let me see if we'll do a little effect here. I've taken it off this screen and I've put it here. I also had to order new cutting edges for the 566 loading shovel. Because it hadn't been working, nobody had paid attention to it. And I was walking past it earlier and I said, oh my God, these cutting edges are absolutely battered. So we're probably moving into damaging the bucket, but I've ordered them and they should be in on Tuesday. My townie won't be in, but we're gonna need to find a way to cut the old bolts off, put these new cutting edges on. It comes as a set, there's 2 pieces, but I've ordered new bolts, so hopefully we'll be able to put it together. We had a visit from the environmental agency. They popped into the yard unannounced. Really nice guy, actually. You may or may not know this. The permit for waste in this yard, I transferred it into my name and paid for it 4 years ago, and I took a risk. I always wanted this yard. 4 years in advance, I've been paying for a waste permit and I have been submitting nil returns because we're not doing any work in there. And so the EA had our details because of the permit, and they said that they were repeatedly called to say that we were doing things we shouldn't be doing. Now, I wonder who was making those calls. I wonder who would like to make our life difficult, throw spanners into the works, and just mess up what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I have no idea who would want to do something like that. I'm furious! Anyway, the visit went well. I showed the gentleman from the environmental agency around. I spoke to him about our plans. He seemed very happy. He was very interested in the drainage and infrastructure we were going to put in the ground here and how this site was going to look after the rainwater and how it was going to separate contaminants from the rainwater. We told him about our separator tanks every 100 meters in the yard, which we haven't gone into the detail yet, but I'll tell you about that a lot later. So I'm going to share the info with him, and he left the site happy, and we weren't doing anything that we shouldn't be doing. We have overcome that hurdle. And we continue to take down the bays in the old yard, taking down concrete blocks one by one.
We're trying, mate, we're trying! We're trying, we're nearly there, we're nearly there! The lads think we're doing a cracking job. I'll take that. You know, that's quite special for me. Because I am into trains. Are you not into trains? Had I known that he was going to do that, I'd have been showing off and doing my new switch. I guess I'll do that when they're on the way back. Nice. I think I'll just test the other one now. You know when you know it works, but you do it anyway. Like whenever Rocky's on TV, you watch it again because something different might happen that you don't know about. Same thing. There we go. Nice. I told you about the court case, and the judge threw out what the defendant had to say with the £63,000 they owe us, going up to the North of Wales astronaut outfit. You know the story, I've been telling it for a while. Well, today was the day. As Deontay Wilder would say, today, to this day, was the day, and they had to submit all of their financial information, their asset statement, everything. The time now is 4:29 on Friday, and they failed to submit. They didn't give any of their information. Now, I suspect the judge will not be happy with this. So we will see what happens early next week. And tomorrow, we have made a new area in the new yard for plant hire. Near the front of the offices, we've sectioned off a little area. We're gonna bring all the diggers and dumpers around and we're gonna park them there. To get there, we have to drive past the fuel tank. So I've asked everyone to fill up with fuel. They should already be filled up with fuel if they're in the yard. But anyway, I'm gonna ask everyone to do that as they make their way round, and first thing in the morning, we'll park them in their new home when they're not hired out. But they should be hired out, but they're not currently. Saturday morning, we're in the yard. We are preparing this grab lorry for Monday morning. We are putting 16 bags of material on it, which is a mixture of ballast and decorative slate. Simon is still at it on the weighbridge, preparing for decoration on Monday. How's it going, Si? The lads have broken out the shuttering from the pours over the last few days, and they are preparing for another pour, which will probably be around Tuesday time. Saturday afternoon, as you can see, my plant hire section is no more full than it was yesterday. I guess I had some unrealistic expectations of what the lads could get done today. So we'll attack it on Monday. Now, I know it shouldn't bother me and we could do it on Monday, but it really does. I'm thinking of going up and getting the machines and tracking them down here all one by one myself and refueling them. But that would take ages and I have other pressing matters. So I'm just gonna have to find a way to try and ignore it until Monday morning. I have a drive. We don't have fibre internet at the moment here, so Fright has exported the Ashville Weekly that's going out tomorrow. I have it here. I have to get home and upload it so he can continue to do the title, description, and all the other work that's needed on the YouTube videos. And that's it for Ashville Weekly episode 199. Click here for the Ashville website, click here to subscribe to our channel, click down here for an Ashville video you may not have seen before, and click down here for last week's episode, which was number 198. Hi, I'm Michael, and it's Ashville Weekly episode 199.
This is Michael, this is Ashville Weekly 199. I think, not sure.